The evolution of concealed carry weapons mirrors Silicon Valley's obsession with miniaturization, but unlike tech, smaller isn't always better when you're talking about something that could save your life.
That's exactly what makes the Glock43X such an interesting case study in product development. They went against the smaller is better trend and focused on actual user experience.
You know what's fascinating about their approach? The metrics tell the story. They managed to create a 1.1-inch wide profile while maintaining a full-size grip. That's 23% slimmer than their flagship G19, but with nearly identical shooting ergonomics.
The engineering behind those dimensions must have been quite challenging. How did they manage the pressure dynamics in such a slim frame?
Well, that's where Glock's polymer expertise really shines. They've essentially created a hybrid design that combines the G43's slide with the G48's grip, resulting in something that weighs just 18.7 ounces unloaded. For perspective, that's about the weight of a grande latte at Starbucks.
The market positioning is quite clever, too. They're directly competing with the P365 and Hellcat, but taking a completely different approach to the user experience.
Speaking of user experience, let's talk about the performance metrics. Users are reporting sub 2-inch groups at 15 yards, which is remarkable for a compact pistol. That's the kind of accuracy you'd typically expect from a full size service weapon.
The recoil management really sets it apart in the compact market segment. The longer grip provides significantly better control than its competitors.
You know what's really disrupted this whole category? The aftermarket innovations. Shield Arms completely changed the game with their S15 magazines, boosting capacity from 10 plus 1 to 15 plus 1 rounds. That's a 50% increase in capacity without changing the gun's dimensions.
Though there's an interesting engineering constraint, their users need to upgrade to a metal magazine release to handle those steel magazines.
Right? And that brings up an interesting point about the modularity of modern defensive weapons. The MOS version's limited optics compatibility shows how manufacturers are still struggling to balance innovation with standardization.
The market data suggests that's becoming increasingly important. Something like 40% of new pistol buyers are adding red dot sights these days.
Let's talk about the financial aspect. At $485,500, they've positioned this very strategically in the market. It's not the cheapest option, but when you factor in Glock's legendary reliability and the extensive aftermarket support, the value proposition becomes quite compelling.
The economics of the aftermarket ecosystem are fascinating. It's almost like they're following the razor and blades business model.
Hmm, that's an interesting parallel. Users spend $500 on the base platform, then typically invest another dollar, 200, 300 in upgrades like metal sights, enhanced triggers, and optics. It's really creating a whole secondary market. And
The market response has been quite telling. Sales data suggests it's becoming one of their most popular models, especially among first-time buyers.
what I find most intriguing is how this represents a shift in consumer preferences. Instead of chasing the smallest possible form factor, users are prioritizing shootability and practical performance. It's like the market is maturing beyond pure specifications.
So you're seeing this as part of a broader trend in consumer behavior?
Exactly. Just like how smartphone users eventually realized that bigger screens were actually more useful, concealed carry users are finding that slightly larger, more shootable weapons make more practical sense. The data shows that most defensive encounters occur within 7 yards at those distances. Weapon control matters more than absolute concealability.
That's a fascinating insight into how market demands evolve over time.
Looking toward the future, I think we're going to see more designs that prioritize this balance of practical performance over pure specifications. The success of the 43X has already influenced other manufacturers' development decisions.
The market impact really demonstrates how one well-executed product can reshape consumer expectations.
And that's really the key takeaway here. Sometimes innovation isn't about being the most extreme in any one category, but about finding the right balance for real world use. The 43X shows that understanding your user's actual needs rather than just the specs they think they want can lead to breakthrough products.